Gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara. All relations. Let's get started today. Today we're talking about a very, very important topic, dreams, okay? A lot of us, we talk about dreams, we understand dreams, we go to sleep every night and then we go somewhere, right? There's some place that we go to. And where is this place that we go to? Okay, we call it the dream realm, we call it the astral world, okay? We use many different terms for it. However, what exactly is happening when we're dreaming? What is going on when we're dreaming? How do we know that we're dreaming? How can we accurately predict what's going on in a dream, right? And this is a very, very good question. I think this is also a question that psychologists for millennia have been trying to explore, right? It's not just a one-time thing. It's actually time and time again that we see this understanding of dreams. And so I'm here to give you my own perspective on this. Of course, I've been a lucid dreamer ever since the college days. I remember the first time that I lucid dreamed, I'd listened to this specific lucid dream frequency, and then I had valerian root or some kind of supplement the day earlier. And then I had imagined that I was like floating up into my college campus, right? And then just like floating around the campus, which was really, really trippy and interesting because I had known exactly the layup layout, right, of my dorm room and so forth. So it was very, very interesting experiencing that first and foremost. Hey there, Samba. So we are actually dream walkers, okay? Skywalker, right? Anakin Skywalker. We're dream walkers. You think you're just sleeping when you close your eyes at night? No, you're logging out of the matrix. You're logging into the astral land party of the soul, right? So dreams aren't some Netflix rerun of your subconscious. It's actually clearing stuff out, right? It's clearing out your stress. It's clearing out your worries. It's clearing out all of the gunk that does not belong there. And it's your subconscious showing this cosmic broadcast, right? So only your awakened self can decode this, okay? Let me just share this with the tribe so they know that I'm live. Bars. All right. So you're not your body. You're an astral being that's just renting skin. And dreams are how your soul stretches its legs, basically, right? So if you want to know what that floating feeling is, that isn't sleep. That's your astral twin flying through the forgotten temples of eternity. Right? That was you meeting your ancestors one night, or that was you, visiting a timeline your ego couldn't dare to imagine. So we think that dreams are just randomness, right? Random imagery that's happening, randomness. But then how come you dream of someone and then they can text you the next day and then something happens in the waking life? Have you guys ever experienced this, right? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you've ever experienced something like this. You dream of something or someone or some event, and then it happens in real life. Okay. Were you given a glimpse of this reality? Right? Hey there, babe. Welcome, welcome. So, how come you visit a land in your sleep and then later walk its streets with deja vu in your bones? It's a frequency, right? So, I've noticed that there's four types of dreamers. Okay. The number one dreamer is what I would call the bump triggered sleeper. So they like heard a noise and then their brain had transformed the noise into like a dragon or something, right? Like a visual image. 1 second. Get some water. The second is the subconscious recycler. That type of dreamer is a mind that's running old data, repressed secrets, stuffed algorithms, repressed desires, all coming out, all just being recycled through your dreams, right? Then we have the telepathic messengers. Okay, you're linking up to someone across space-time, right? It's so interesting how me and Nelly, before we sleep, we set the intention where we're going to meet. And I find that really, really joyous. It's fascinating, really, because we can say, let's meet in, Jamaica or wherever, and we can go there in the astral world. Now, not a lot of people have this experience. So what I would tell you is, well, let me mention the fourth one. The fourth one is the astral jumper. Okay. The astral jumper is basically the soul saying bye to gravity and flying beyond dimensions. So which one are you, right? Telepathic dreams are very, very real, right? They're not coincidences. They can be very, very sacred, actually. Like if you meet the dead or something in your dream because they never really left, right? Or you get warnings in your dream because your higher self isn't asleep. So you knew about the accident, the betrayal, the breakup, the synchronicity because the dream told you. Okay, so these are the secrets of dreams. Use it appropriately, use it wisely, read the disclaimer. Okay, we're not here to mess around. We're here to really understand that symbols and dreams are like emotional hieroglyphs, right? So you don't speak in words when you sleep. You actually speak in myth and metaphor and poetry and in magnetic truth, right? So fire could be chaos in your dream, or it could be your kundalini rising, right? A river could be sorrow, or it's your Shakti flow. An eagle, that's not just a bird, man. That's a higher self, right? It's higher. It's like a heightened perception, right? So when I dream of Horus or Haru, that's my higher self kind of reminding me, even though it's associated with my third eye chakra. But I'm here to just embrace that. I understand. I wasn't meant to crawl on the floor. I was meant to rise up, right? You're going to fall in love or rise in love, right? Now, here's the part that they don't tell you about these watered down dream blogs, right? Dreams are not just for you to journal about and for you to act on, that they're for you to act on, right? So that gut instinct, that song that you heard in your dream, or the image that you painted, or the idea that you birthed, the feeling you remembered, right? Always, yeah, that's right. All that source sending you the next breadcrumbs, right? So you're like following these dream breadcrumbs into this greater understanding. The ego is like a snarky narrator in your waking life, right? But in dreams, the ego becomes the mailman. What I mean by this is it carries messages from the astral to the conscious mind, but it's not the writer, okay? Your higher self is the writer. So if you want to go deeper and practice, astral projection, don't do it for ego flexing, right? Not to spy or play, I'm going to play astral voyeur for a second. No, I'm here to serve, to heal, to learn, to merge, right? So this path is not really for the selfish, right? It's selflessness because selflessness creates a flow state essence because you're doing it for service to others. That's why I go to the big dream so I can help people. I can heal people, right? Now I can go around, sneak around, do some shady shit in my dreams, okay? The astral will smack your soul back into your meat suit if you ever go there with greed. So be careful of that, right? I truly believe that there are some dream protectors and dream deities because they're like these astral agents that sometimes show up, kind of like how Matrix has those, people in suits. And I've come across these agents more than once, right? And they're always like so stone faced and they're always like looking at you so judgmentally, bro. Like it's unbelievable to understand this, right? But they're like almost like security guard, not security guards, more like the police or some kind of like an astral guard, right? They don't want anything bad to happen. So sometimes they do show up like this. They're like kind of agents, you could say, like agent Smiths, right? That show up in your dreams to make sure you're all accurate, right? It's good to keep a dream journal, okay? Intend, prepare, travel. Decode your dreams, right? Train with a cosmic samurai jack, right? In your dreams. Because the dream world is not an escape, it's a training ground, right? And this world might just be the dream that we're finally meant to wake up from. Okay. And I dropped a post on Primal Sutra. You guys check that out. That the past is not a prophecy, it's a ghost, right? And ghosts only haunt those who keep feeding them their attention, right? Their breath, their belief. And panic, when we panic in the dream realm, right? It's self-sabotage in disguise. Because when life spins, you got to let go. You don't grip tighter then, right? Because control freaks will crash. Pranic beings instead of panicked beings will float, the ones with breath. So if you're having sleep apnea or your nose is kind of clogged up, it's going to affect the quality of your sleep and dreams. I've been doing this facial exercises at night, and that's been opening up my sinuses a lot. And if you notice my face, it's a lot more slim, it's a lot more chiseled than earlier. Okay, if you go back to my earlier videos, you can check. This is what I'm doing. This is the process that I'm going through. And so if you are interested in that too, I can send you over what I'm doing with that. Okay. Now, avoidance is spiritual constipation. Okay, you can't go around it, you must go through it. So liberation only lives in the full digestion of the experience. This is all coming through the Nexus's downloads, right? The violin playing victimhood, it feels comfortable until it erodes your vitality and turns your power into compost. So you aren't being punished, you're being prepared in the dream realm. Every breakdown that you have in the dream realm is a cosmic initiation into a deeper truth that you weren't ready to hold before. Right? So you are the one creating the resonance. So set the intention before you sleep, positive things before sleep. Okay, guys? I know how difficult this can be because we live in a world with social media and we see some of this grotesque shit on our phones. And we're like, we go to sleep with that energy. Right? So of course it's gonna leak through. That energy is gonna leak through, right? So we got to be really, really conscious about what we are consuming before sleep, not just physically, right, digesting food, but through our eyes. What is our mental diet before sleeping? Because that is what is going to slowly wisp its way into our subconscious and it's going to guide us, right? Ellie had a really interesting dream where she was like doing martial arts, like swords and stuff. Like that kind of stuff happens when you truly know that you can like let go and let the experience happen, right? Because reality doesn't owe you ease, it offers you evolution. Also, babe, it might have been like Kalari Pachu. There in India, we have a martial arts with swords. My grandmother used to be a swordswoman, so it's in her blood, you know. So it's not out of the ordinary that you dreamt this. Um, it's there, you know. It's in the coding. It's always in the coding. And you don't grow by being coddled. You grow by being cracked open, right? So the savior you seek is the self you've abandoned in favor of your storyline. Okay, so you live in two realms, the day and the dream realm. The waking world builds your outer story, the dream world writes your inner myth. Okay, so the modern world calls dreams meaningless. They'll tell you, oh, forget about that's just dreams and it doesn't make sense. It's just random, right? Just forget about it. That's what they'll tell you, okay? But the ancients, they knew better. Dreams are whispers from the gods, mirrors of your soul, blueprints of your becoming, whatever you want to call it. Consciousness is a ship, and the unconscious is the ocean. I was having food a little while ago. My mom was like, you should put your phone down and eat and only focus on eating. Where as Ellie was texting me and I was listening to her as I was just drinking my juice. And I told her something. My consciousness is my consciousness, mom. You know, she didn't even know what that meant. She was like, what? What do you mean? But the real thing here is that consciousness is a shit, right? So if I say I'm gonna scroll my phone in the middle of the night, it's gonna harm me, but it's still my consciousness, still my choice, right? And so don't impose your consciousness on others around you, being like, like, oh, you could just ignore that, or oh yeah, do that like this, right? And just give orders to people, right? It's really interesting because Mathis takes orders sometimes from me, you know? He'll be like, all right, it's almost like ordering from a restaurant, right? What's on the menu today, right? Well, let's manifest. So once it's done, right, it's done, right? I've written it down. It's already like there as a codon, right? So this is what we have to understand. I mean, codex, right? So ignore the waters below and you'll never see the icebergs, treasures, and leviathans shaping your fate. Dreams are encrypted messages from the unconscious, right? So they are not noise. They're actually symbols meant to awaken our ancient instincts, right? The more lost your ego gets, the louder your dream gets. Look deeper, right? That's when you're gonna have nightmares, yo. If you ignore your ego for a while, you're gonna have nightmares, yo. Okay? Dreams can foretell futures, not as mystic prophecies, but because your soul has been watching the trajectory already. And it's warning you, kind of like a cosmic parent would. Like, wait, watch out, watch out. Okay, so big dreams are visitations from the other world. They arrive rarely, but when they do, they shake you like a thunderclap from eternity. You are more than you think. That is what they're there to teach you, really. And compensatory dreams restore balance, right? If you're ever acting fake, or numb or prideful, out of alignment, your dreams will shatter the illusion and it will start to recalibrate the psyche. Okay. So dreams don't speak in logic, remember, they speak in instinctual art. Interpretation is the alchemy. Ignored dreams still influence you, don't they? Even when you don't understand them. Why is this monkey playing a tuba, right, in the Galactic Federation while these two chimps are laughing at him? What does that mean, right? Monkey see, monkey do. I don't know. Well, how can I decode this, right? This is so random. I get it. You gotta embrace it. You gotta appreciate. You gotta apply. EAA. Okay, EAA. That's a code at Primal Sutra. Embrace, appreciate, apply. I appreciate you, monkeys, for showing up, giving me some kind of a lesson. I don't know what that lesson is, but I'm in gratitude for it. You see the power in that? And then if someone comes in like, oh yeah, that dream is weird or whatever, then you can still hold on to the truth of that, right? Even though they don't understand it, they're still working behind the scenes, shaping your vibe, your mood, your decisions, your destiny. So interpretation isn't going to be immediate. It's intimacy. Carry the dream, live with it, feed it thoughts, ask it questions, let its meaning unfold, right? Like a lotus over time. So that's established, right? We get this. Dreams connect us to our instinct and our soul. But in a society that's abandoned myth and called it a bunch of stories, your dreams are your only oracle left. You get that? Like, dreams are the forgotten cure. Imagine living more of life through your dreams. It's amazing, right? Offering wholeness, course correction, intuitive clarity in a world diseased by disconnection and collective numbness. A dream unheeded is guidance unused. Okay. But when a dream is interpreted correctly, not just on dreammoods.com or whatever, right? You're reclaiming your right as a sacred teacher by looking at the dream and not just judging it immediately, but taking a step back and actually understanding the symbolism behind it. Okay. You think sleep is just your body making red blood cells, bro? That's like NPC level bedtime stories, right? Oh yeah, you're your muscles are growing or whatever they tell you, right? Before sleep. But let me wake you up while you're falling asleep. When a real one sleeps, it's not just rest, it's re-entry. You're logging out of this simulation and going to Dream Server X, okay? Shout out to TXL. Dream Server X, right? Where Akashic archives load in HD and that theta delta wave state, right? That's not drowsiness. It's the sacred corridor between timelines. So you're solely just chilling. It's shifting dimensions, right? And the whole world's a holographic thought form anyway. What you feel before bed, that's the seed code you send into the source grid. You fall asleep anxious, you just watered a nightmare timeline. But if you walk your block, right, with a victorious energy, then you just casted a vote for your most divine version of you tomorrow. So this is like spiritual currency, guys, right? When solar consciousness meets lunar consciousness, a new consciousness is born. And that is the newness. And it is remembered because your future isn't ahead of you. It's beneath your eyelids, waiting for the right emotional charge to unlock. And don't hit me with the I don't dream. I never dreamed. I don't know. I can't really dream. I don't remember my dreams. Man, I'm tired of this. Yes, you do. You just don't remember because your nervous system's still buffering. You want to shift timelines, want to access higher octaves of reality. You want to be the authority in a room without saying a word. Fix your pre-sleep ritual. Fix your pre-sleep ritual. Listen to positive, affirming things before you sleep as you drift off into nothingness, into oneness. Because bedtime is a battlefield, and the most unbothered man or woman before bed, they're portaling. So bless your pillow, right? Breathe like a god or goddess, and dream as if you've already ascended. And when you wake up, don't just get up, you re-enter, right? You re-enter, like you just respawn from Valhalla, right? The night is your dojo, the sleep is your spell. We're not saying, so I'm an omnist, okay? And I'm not saying that all religions are one, like some kind of a, passive bumper sticker. I'm saying we're all fractured off of the same lightning bolt. Okay? So Krishna, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, they're in convergence, they're God's reflections in different mirrors. And we forgot. That's our only sin, forgetfulness. But when you remember, and I mean truly remember, you don't want to just worship Krishna, you become Arjuna. You don't just bow to Christ, you resurrect your own inner sonship. You don't just admire Muhammad, you take your place at the cave entrance with the real nur inside, right? Ryan knows that word, okay? It means light. It means light, okay? There's the Brahman, the beyond, the one you'll never see, but always feel. And then there's the super soul, the field, the intelligence, the dreamer inside the dream. And then there's the you, the Atman, the ray of light, thinking that it's a candle, a droplet forgetting it's the ocean. So let me give you a cheat code. When you treat another human being like they are the I am cloaked in skin, the veil tears, the mystic awakens, and the world shifts. Treat every man or woman like he's Krishna or Radha in disguise. Treat every woman like she's Mary Magdalene on a comeback tour. Treat your haters like Mahakala training your patience. Treat your lover like she's God while doing shadow work through human form. That's MDI, Mystic Divine Integrated. And this isn't for the faint-hearted, right? We at Primal Sutra, we know we're ready to deify our daily lives, to burn with the fire of truth, to stop worshiping statues and start activating our essence because you are the temple, you are the gospel, you are the revolution. Are you ready, or are you pretending to be powerless in a world wired by God? You think this is reality? You wake up, go to your 9 to 5. All right, I gotta pay some taxes, I guess. Right? Stress drenched grind. Is that the real show? No, we gotta wake up. Dreams are not the side dish, they're the soul's main course. Hey there, Andrea. Welcome back. All right. So, the hidden power of dreams, no, it's dreams are power in disguise, right? Power wrapped in metaphor, power coded in symbols, only for your soul, that remembered how to read. You ever woke up from a dream and you're feeling more alive than when you opened your eyes? Huh? This wasn't a dream, right? This is a transmission from the divine Wi-Fi, and you almost missed it. So ancient Egypt didn't call that random. They built temples just to sleep in the presence of the gods. The Greeks, healing through dreams. The Sufis, receiving revelations through REM cycles. You, you're scrolling Instagram and forgetting your own prophecies. So dreams are not garbage data. They're symbolic survival codes. The water is always symbolic of your emotions, right? We know this stuff. We go into a forest that's symbolic of your subconscious mind, or a garden or something, right? Snakes are the secrets that you're scared to integrate. Of course, it's also a phallic symbol, but let's not go into that, right now. Flying is your soul remembering its wings, right? And houses, they're just your mind walking through itself, right? Room by room by room by room. So if you think time is linear, go and dream, because dreams will break time. You've been to places in dreams that you hadn't been yet. Feels like deja vu, right? You visited them months later, like deja boom, right? Deja zoom. Because the unconscious does not do later, right? It only does now. And lucid dreaming is God mode access to your own psyche. It's real, you can learn it. And once you do, you're not just sleeping, you're training in a hyperdimensional dojo. Okay? Einstein dreamt E equals mc squared. He dreamed that, guys. Yup, he dreamed that. Kekule saw the structure of the benzene as the Ouroboros eating its own tail, my tattoo, right? Ouroboros, the benzene, in a vision. That was through a dream. Jung had built an entire psycho-spiritual empire in his dreams. I don't know if you guys know this, from walking into his dreams and talking to his own soul and then meeting his anima and then all this kind of stuff, okay? And you think your dream about your ex doesn't mean something? Wake up. Your dream world isn't some junkyard of memories, okay? This is what we've got to really embody and really understand. It's a mirror to our myth, a message from our shadow, a meeting with our higher self, disguised as these weird melting clocks or these symbolic skeletons laughing at us or whatever, right? That we see. So I'm here to tell you, if you can wake up inside a dream, what's stopping you from waking up in this one? What if this reality is just dream layer one and then that's dream layer two? What if source is just dreaming you and you're dreaming this world and the only way out is through awareness? So tonight, don't just sleep. I want you to dream on purpose. Set an intention, set the pre-sleep ritual, ask the question to your guides, open the portal, and when the symbols start flowing in, don't dismiss them. Sit down, do the inner work, and decode them, because I'm telling you, it will reveal some things about your own psyche that you never would have known. Okay? All right. Any questions, guys? Anything coming up? Let me know in the live chat. Okay? Because the answers you've been praying for, they're just hiding in the dreams the whole time. Okay? Can we talk a little bit about lucid dreaming? I'll end it there maybe. Boom, 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 boom. No questions? Well, alrighty then. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. So you're not sleeping, you're training. You're just knocking out for rest. Oh, I need to sleep. I need rest. You're entering the temple of the stars. Tonight, I awaken inside the dream. I am the lucid one. You start with a vow. You start with a vow, okay? Because the vow is then going to seep into your dream realm, okay? Next thing, reality checks. You know how in the movie Inception, there's that spinning top that tells them that they're in the dream because it never stops, right? Similarly, you need a totem, a dream totem, to check and break the dream matrix during the day. So lucidity begins in your waking life. So train your mind throughout the day. Look at your hands throughout the day. Set timers. Am I dreaming? Am I dreaming? And if you're wearing rings, by the way, notice the placement of your rings too, because you will notice that in the dream it's different, right? Where it's like I usually have blisters in here, there's none, or something like this. So if you're looking at your hands, it's very good. Try pushing a finger through your palm. Okay, in the dream, right? And you look in the mirror. Does your face start warping? Okay. Read a sentence twice. Does the sentence change? This is all stuff that you can do to check, right? Light switches. Turn on, off, on, off, right? You can do all of these things to check why are you doing this? Because the habits you create while awake blend into your dream realm. So one day you'll ask in the dream and you look at your hands and, oh shit, right? I'm actually here now. And once you get it, now this is the annoying part. Some people who do that and then they get it, then they freak out so much that, oh my God, I'm dreaming, and then they wake up. So this is why we have to control our neutrality, right? Our emotional spiking. Can't be so reactive in the dream world, right? It's bound to happen, right? That's the mentality. So your dreams are scrolls from the astral. Start archiving them, right? Place a notebook, a voice recorder near your bed. And upon waking, don't move. Ask, where was I just now? Where was I just now? And record every scrap, every detail, no matter how blurry it was, title each dream. This makes the mind respect the process more, I feel. If you dream number one, right? Statue in Athens that I went to. Boom, like this, okay? Now, affirmations before sleep or subliminals related to lucid dreaming before sleeping. Or you're repeating as you're falling asleep. I recognize when I'm dreaming, I become aware, I remain calm, I explore with purpose. Right? So you whisper this kind of mantra to yourself, and then you sink into that theta state, right? So this is really for the mad scientists of the spiritual world, okay? This is not for everybody that I'm sharing this information. However, if you want to try this out, go for it. Hey, SLW, what's up, man? Chilling, talking about dreams. Okay, then there's the wake back to bed method, where you set an alarm for 5 to 6 hours, then you go to sleep, and then you wake up and you stay for 15 or 30 minutes reading lucid dream notes or sacred texts, and then you go back to bed with that one intention. I re-enter the dream world consciously. Your body will knock out fast, your mind stays alert. That's your golden portal, okay? The next one you have is the dream dojo, okay? And when you realize you're dreaming, don't get too excited. Stabilize, stabilize, stabilize. Okay. Spin in place, or you can even rub your hands to anchor in the lucidity. You set an intention. All right, I'm going to meet my guides. I'm going to fly around. I'm going to ask, what is my soul trying to teach me? Make it simple for you, right? They're sacred tools for adepts, and I'm sharing this with adepts only because we've been through a process. We work with a lot of dream deities, Somnus, Hypnos, Phantomos, like all of them, right? Morpheus, okay? Just a few. There's more probably that we haven't discovered. However, anyway, right? Or there might be like certain Heyoka trickster beings who are trying to get into your dreams because you have an ADHD mind or whatever. Who knows, right? We have to explore this over time. Right? Does anybody have a strange dream that they want to share in the comments? It's real key to write dreams, having a dream journal. I remember more of those dreams I wrote that some real memories. Crystal palaces are dope too. Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. Crystal palaces in the dream realms. So mugwort tea or oil before bed enhances your dream vividness. There's a blue lotus, which is like a tincture, or you can get it. Actually, some people smoke it or whatever. But it's a tincture, right? It opens the third eye and dream recall. Um, Invoking the protection mantra of the Aprajita Swaha, right? Invokes invincibility in the subtle realms. And pre-sleep visualization, right? So imagine a glowing door, open it with your astral body, right? Things like this. So lucid dreaming is an escape. It's an integration that you're actually doing in the dream world. So you're not just a tourist, right, in the astral, kind of looking around. How do you know that someone is a tourist or someone who's actually been there before, right? They're walking with purpose through the dream realms, okay? If you see somebody walking around like, oh, oh, it's like they've been there before so many times. They're conscious, they have a purpose in that dream, they're doing it, right? Whatever it is. So you're a missionary of memory, reclaiming soul fragments as well. You're getting the truth codes, right? So you don't get lucid dreams, you earn them with devotion, discipline, your own divine curiosity. All right? So get this dream recall going, guys. Okay? Work on those memories. All right? Anybody have any interesting dreams to share that we can break down what that means? If you want, type it in the comments now. Otherwise, I'm going to end it. I'll see you guys in the Dream Dojo. Let's win. Upward spiral. May we never be the same again. Okay? My first dream. Oh, yeah, some action. My first dream that I remember that woke me up in the middle of the night when I was younger, a kid that I was in the forest and I saw and heard something moving in the bushes. I went to see what it was, and bang, an anaconda appears to eat me up. Okay. Hmm. So you were a younger kid in the dream, or you had this dream when you were a younger kid? Is my question to you. So in the dream, were you a kid? That's my question to you, SLW. But the first thing, we got to understand the Jungian perspectives too, right? So anaconda is the primal force or suppressed kundalini. It's the devouring feminine. So being eaten means ego death. Okay, this is coming through the nexus. So you might feel very trapped, devoured, or powerless in waking life, but the anaconda then becomes a symbol of something too big to fight, right? Because you're a tiny kid, and then this thing is like eating you up. When you were a young kid, okay. Wow. Dang. So the anaconda probably didn't just eat you, it digested your old self so the real you could one day shed its skin and rise, something like this, right? So the anaconda is a symbol of something way too big to fight, right? Dominating adult, a secret, or feelings you didn't know that how to handle when you were this young. And the anaconda eating you was like an ego death of you going through this. And it's kind of like probably even spitting you out. Is that when you woke up, SLW? I'm curious to know. Is that when you were like, huh? And then you woke up after you got eaten? Or you were still in the stomach being digested a little bit through the dream? Like, I know that has some meaning in the spot. Hmm. Oh, okay. So you're saying like the forest itself could be a bridge, all right? Yep. Classic place where heroes get lost, only to be reborn. They're the most common place you see in all stories, right? Forests are like organic temples, portals of fractal mind of nature, right? Or it's may even be like a need for solitude or a need for, escape. Could mean so many things. Like it was too real to be just a dream. Yeah, that's all dreams feel like that at times. Like, yo, this is too real, right? So you weren't lost in the woods, SLW. You were probably learning to speak uh, in roots and branches. The forest probably even knew your name before you did, right? I just woke up when she rose to attack. Oh, okay. So it didn't actually go to you. Okay, fully. All right. Well, interesting, man. And it could also be our own fears projected, right? Because if we see the serpents from Adam and Eve and all these different symbolisms that we see of the snake, sometimes it's like related to that, you know? So it could be like fear that's being depicted through the snake. I was 8. I guess my father was moving to Brazil. Okay, so like the uncertainty of that probably or something like this, right? Yeah. So interesting. Very interesting dream. Thank you for sharing, brother. Thank you for being so open, vulnerable, and sharing this in a live forum like this. That's dope. Anybody else want to share a dream? We got a bit of time. Nobody? Going once. Going twice. Sold to the man in the mirror. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tapping in. Have an incredible rest of your day. May the flow be with you. Stay legendary. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Share this with somebody who needs to hear it. Maybe they're going through weird dreams, or they don't understand their dreams, or they're like, this stuff is random, man. It's not random. Just understand it better. Okay. I got more for next week. Cool. All right. Let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang. Peace. Much love. All right. Let's tap in. See you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Let's win. Upward Spiral Gang. Oh, you want me to share one of my dreams? Um, what's the last dream that I had? It was weird, man. I saw myself as a golden score. Well, I don't know if I saw myself or I was just going along this path and then I saw this like golden scorpion. And it was almost like a dog size, like a small dog size. So I was like terrified. I looked at that thing and I was like, ah, what is that? You know? Yeah, it was like a small baby, small child or whatever, right? So it was like terrifying to me because it probably was my golden shadow, right? The first dream that I remember having, I'm not too sure. Oh, I used to ride around in rickshaws with my grandfather. I used to have that constantly through my dreams and my waking life. Like as I'm riding along the rickshaw or whatever. That's what very, very young, like super young, you could say. Um, but yeah, that's what's coming up. All right, guys, I'm gonna tap out. Thank you so much for tapping in. Have an incredible day. Woke up with terror. Yeah. Let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang. May we never be the same again. May the flow be with you. I'll see you all on the other side, and I'll see you at the top. Let's get it. Peace. Primal Sutra. Join the Telegram group.